Uno. That would have
Here
been
we
perfect, like a nice little segue into it. Meow.
Oh, having the cat do the countdown.
Yeah.
So, hi everybody. Once again, we're back at you. This is the Average J's podcast with me, Jay, Justin Ruiz.
And Jace, Jeremy Francois. I
There
like
we
almost
go.
forgot my name for a second.
As you can hear, we both have little animal companions with us today in the studio. I have my cat Brownie, and Jay has Cece in his lap, his nice, cute little dog. So, if you hear any type of animal, I guess, interjections, those are our producers, and they're just giving us notes in real time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I
Yeah,
believe it.
yeah. So what we have a couple things this episode, like always, but first one up, we have some cool news. A lot of it today is just gonna be just different. Sorry, my cat is throwing me off. Different pop culture news. We have a lot of things in the realm of TV and movies this week. So, first one up, we have the news for the new Halo series.
Mm.
So, did you saw that like teaser trailer that they put out about a week
Yeah.
ago?
Um. All I could say, it was pretty. It was a nice little teaser. It's like I wish I was in high school again or in college because like
Hmm.
I saw this and I was like, I wasn't like, I was excited, but I was like, oh, why couldn't we have this at this point in time? Because that's what we've been asking for ever since Halo Reach came out. And they did that, like the marketing where it shows the live action where you saw the Noble Six going into one of the Covenant ships. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go play Halo 1 through Halo Reach and Halo 4. But he goes in there and blows up the whole thing. And it looks really cool. There's so many teases of live action marketing, and it's finally now they decide to be like, all right, we're gonna do it. I forget who's gonna be. It's not under Paramount, right? I didn't look that far into it.
I don't think so.
Hmm, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think it looks dope. But from seeing the guy's back, his chiseled, scarred back.
Yeah, so that was to me that was like the cool thing, right? They showed like because of all the scars and
Augmentations.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. Clearly it's gonna be Master Chief. I forgot his real name. Well, we're hoping it's gonna be Master Chief because they could just do a whole.
No, well, I believe that's supposed to be John. Yeah, Master Chief is John.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, John. Yeah. Um. So it's just one of those where, yeah, I agree with you. Like I wasn't like but I was kind of like, damn, I wish I got this earlier.
Yeah,
Like because I feel like it. I mean, Halo has always been around, and it's
yeah.
been always in the background. And this new one that just came out, Infinite,
Hmm.
has been getting really good reviews. So it's kind of like Halo returning to being top of people's minds. So
Yeah,
I think that's great timing to coincide with the series that's coming out.
yeah,
But I don't know. Let's see how it comes out because it could be one of those things where it's like a slow rise, kind of like Game of Thrones, right?
yeah.
Or it could just be something that they just missed the mark and just not enough people are going to be into it.
That is true, and I understand. Like back in the day, and this is just strictly speaking of the Xbox IP. When Halo was out, they don't have a lot of property, like for what's it called? First, not first person, exclusives. They don't have a lot of exclusives. They were like, oh, there was always this talk of making a movie of Halo
Yeah.
and a TV show that just never got off the ground. Then I think went into development hell. There was Gears. There was the Gears franchise that had a lot of hype, and that also was gonna. There was talks of that happening. There was talks of Batista playing Marcus, and,
Marcus Phoenix,
and
yeah.
the closest we ever got to that was his likeness got thrown into a skin in like Gears 6 or 5, which is like no one wants to see that now because what we wanted was a like live action thing.
Yeah. And
Uh,
it's
but
it
yeah,
sucks because I always feel like video games like not that Halo and Gears are more grounded, let's say,
yeah, yeah,
but I think they're a little more approachable than like a random video game, right? Because Gears, it's military guys fighting off aliens, and then lo and behold, Halo is the same kind of thing. And then whatchamacallit, it's just it's easier for people to wrap their heads around it, right? A lot of people are familiar with the military, so it's an easy thing to grasp, and then you add these extra elements which are fantastical, but
sci-fi, yeah,
Yeah, they're sci-fi, but they're easier to swallow when you half of the movie you really know what's happening. So yeah, like we always wanted, and there was always talks about Gears happening, and I think the first thing that came around was movies, then a TV show, which was the same thing for Halo. I remember back in the day, I think it was Denzel Washington was supposed to be Master Chief in the movie, and then the movie got yeah, then the
I
movie
would
got
not have
canned.
liked that. I love Denzel, but I would not have loved that.
You see, and I think with video games they always run into that problem of like how are we gonna make it fun for the fans but also approachable for new people? So I really don't know how they're gonna pull this off because it's not like yeah, Halo's a household name, but it's not something like Spider-Man, right? Like
Yeah,
everybody and their mother knows
who-
who and what Spider-Man is.
even if
Whether you
he's
think
from
it's a
DC.
kid's toy, a comic book character, like what'd you say?
No, I'm saying people would think he's from DC, but they know who Spider Man is.
Yeah, like but exactly, that's the thing. Like they still know the character.
Yeah,
Master Chief, like that's a little harder for people to grab. Like, yeah, they might know Halo and just
yeah,
associate, kind of like X-Men is Wolverine type deal. They might just think
but they
Halo
can't
is
put
Master
two and
Chief.
two together.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it's just I don't know if I don't know if it has the legs to do it. Like I remember when they came out with the Halo um was it the 6 episode thing?
Yeah.
Remember it's all like different animations.
Oh, Halo Legends, which was a movie anthology, kind of like
Yes.
Animatrix to a certain
Yeah.
degree.
So there was that, and then they also had the prequel series with that girl, right?
The prequel
It
series.
was like a live action with the girl from Chronicles of Narnia, or was that part
Oh
of
no,
Legend?
so that was the prequel to. It wasn't a prequel. It was a prequel to Halo 4. It was like leading
Okay.
into it. But it was like a mini tie-in. It wasn't like super, but it was dope because like
Yeah. So those I was just gonna say like those were really good,
yeah,
and the production was high on
yeah,
both of those
it was a
things.
YouTube production too. It was like partners with. It was a lot of partners involved, but it was like 15 to 20 minutes long, and then like I think
Yeah.
Master Chief showed up at like the end, which was
Hmm.
really cool. That was dope. Like those things got me hyped. Like I rewatch. If you remember the Remember Reach marketing, and I
Yeah.
remember I've watched Noble Six, the original Noble Six, always like I said, going into the Covenant. Like that was so cool. I'm sure it had so many views.
So break that down for people that don't know what this
Yeah,
is.
no, well, Halo Reach was that in itself was a prequel series. Prequel took place like right before Halo One. So basically, you have these six Spartans. Well, I was gonna say four, but there were six Spartans that had their own missions and whatnot. But this took place before Master Chief was even a thing. Um, but in the marketing, which was really cool, was just like one of the character you play in the game is not the same character that you see in the marketing. The, because the character he's like in a gray Spartan suit. He's like fighting all these Covenant aliens, and then he makes it inside one of the ships, and the ships is like defended by these force fields where nothing really can get in. You have to get inside the ship to blow it up from the inside. So that character goes inside, blows it up with like a nuke, and also killing himself as well, for the good of the team and well humanity. Um, but then when you start the game up, when you pop that disc in and put in Halo Reach, you're playing a new Noble Six, taking up that person's place, which was really cool. I like that
So it's like
tie.
a new, it's like the rookie of the team taking the place of that
Exactly,
guy.
exactly.
Okay.
Which
Oh,
that
cool.
was cool. Like I said, this new Halo series, or I'm gonna say series, I'm sure it
Yeah, it is.
is cool, but I just wish I had it before. Like I'm still gonna
Yeah.
watch it. I'm gonna critique it how I critique it. And the reason I say this is that as of late, like I haven't really been super into Halo. Like the last
Hmm.
Halo I really loved was Halo 4. And a
Yeah.
lot of people can attest to that. Um, but yeah,
I really liked Halo 4.
yeah,
That
Halo
was the
4,
first Halo that I played all the way through and like did multiplayer and stuff on.
bruh. Yeah, like I remember I went back and played the games, and I was like, Halo 4 was like the best since 2. And then 5 was all right, it was whatever, but the story wasn't.
Hmm.
And that's another thing. To me, it's like, you know how like CW is infamous for like going on with their series. It's
See,
it could
and
pull a
that's the
Call of Duty kind of a thing.
and that's the thing. Halo 4 was such a good cap. and it was just like, for spoiler alerts, it ended with Master Chief, like you finally seeing Master Chief take off the armor,
Mhm.
and it cuts out right before you see who he is,
Yeah.
and if you beat it on like the super
Legendary.
duper hard mode, you got to see his eyes or
Yeah.
like the reflection of his face,
No, no, you saw his eyes. You saw just
his
literally
eyes,
those.
and he had like blue eyes, right?
I believe so. Like he was,
Yeah.
he's described as like a white kid. Well, when you read the books, you see him growing up, so he's like a white
Mhm.
kid, super pale now because he's always in the suit.
Yeah, because he's always in the
Right.
suit.
Um,
But
yeah,
yeah, so it was a good cap off, right? Cortana sacrifices herself to save him. Like it's a lot of like it should have ended there. There
yeah,
was no real reason for it to continue, or at least think of a new original story to tell, kind of like
exactly,
ODST and Reach had, like start a new thing because Master Chief's story felt like it ended. And
exactly.
I liked that one too. But before we leave this one behind,
Mm,
it's kind of like, I wish that I think the consensus for both of us is we wish that it came out sooner at a different time where Halo was more at like a higher height, because right now it always seems like Halo's just putting out more games
yeah,
and almost like competing with Call of Duty when they can. Um it was like back in the day where Gears was competing with Call of Duty and Halo, right? Gears had a really good story, and I think 3 was the last one that should have happened because 3 tied up all the ends that we needed to hear, and then they kept pushing it out. And
yeah,
then it was just like the more that they were pushing out, the story quality kind of tanked, and I haven't really paid attention to it since 3.
yeah,
So, yeah, these things it, it kind of sucks that it takes Hollywood a while to catch up, but hopefully it ends up being good and maybe it breathes new life into Halo and we could see new stuff come out from it. But yeah, I'm not especially pumped for this one. I really hope that it's good, but I
yeah.
think it should have came out way earlier.
You did say something about with Hollywood too. Like, what's cool is that Hollywood now is, I guess, paying attention to that games. Like, games are
Yeah.
starting to get a little bit more. I would say game movies are getting a little better.
Mhm.
Like Tomb Raider was okay for me, but it wasn't like super. I don't know what the word to use. Like,
That was more like it wasn't like a video to me anyway. That's not a video game movie,
mhm,
right? Same thing like Uncharted. Like those things, those properties are in my head, the way that it's designed, and it seems that's how it came to fruition, is that they're movies adapted to be video games, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
Because those stories are so like they lend themselves so well to movies that the jump between video game to movie isn't a huge drastic thing. Like you
I
don't
feel
have
the same.
to
Yeah,
worry about crazy production. Like they're basically Indiana Jones like ripoffs.
true, true, true,
You
true.
know what I mean?
So
So
then
it's
that was a
not
bad
like
example. I'll just say Sonic then, because Sonic was pretty cool.
no, well, yeah, Sonic, and I finally saw it not too long ago,
Mm,
but it was finally a really. I'm not gonna say it was a great movie,
yeah,
but it was a very palatable, good experience, and it was fun. There was a lot of points that were funny. There was a lot of points that were cheesy,
yeah.
but Jim Carrey stole the show, and I think Sonic, Jason Schwartz being the voice was really good matchup.
That was yeah,
You
exactly.
know, I think they did really well with that, where they could have dropped the ball really heavy. Because I mean, an animated blue hedgehog running around at the speed of sound is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
So
in live
them
action.
them hitting it off like they did, and we're getting a sequel with Knuckles, played by freaking Idris Elba, is gonna be great. And Tails is coming in. We got that little post credit scene with Tails. Whoever voiced Tails, I think is a perfect match. Also, even in that little tidbit that we got at the end of the
Yeah,
movie,
yeah, yeah. I got. Did they ever reveal that? I feel like they should. It's probably
they
there.
might have. I have no idea, but it was very good. The casting for I guess for Tails and Sonic were really really good. So I
Yeah,
have high hopes for the second movie. I
agreed.
can't wait to see how Jim Carrey makes his way back because Eggman has to come back.
Can't do it
So
with.
I'm enjoying that a lot, and that's the first time a video game movie has like captured it. Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of video game movies, just as an honorable mention, don't forget Mario is still happening. That is a thing. The Mario movie, and it's been confirmed that Chris Pratt will not be doing an Italian accent, so
Which
we're
is
gonna get a very American uh dude bro Mario, which is gonna be
gonna get
it's gonna
Guardian.
be great.
I'm gonna
We
get
have to keep
Star Lord as Mario. I don't know how that's gonna work. I
we have
don't
to
really
keep our
know.
hopes up. We just gotta keep our hopes up.
Like, if you're gonna do that, I'd rather see like Wreck It Ralph again because I don't want like
Yeah.
Like, why,
The
if you're
point.
gonna do a Mario movie, why not get an Italian actor? And so it's not like, you don't want to cancel Chris Pratt.
Or maybe just have the guy that's been voicing Mario for the last 30 years do it.
Yeah, but you mean the voice of the acting? He's probably old.
Well, he's old, yeah, but he still does the voice for everything, and he's a trained voice actor, and on top of that, it's
So
a
we're gonna dub
CGI
out.
movie.
We're gonna. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
it's not live
true.
action, it's CG, it's all
Oh
computer
yeah, yeah.
animated.
I kept forgetting. Yeah, yeah. Why Chris
He
Pratt? But you know what? They want a big name.
They want a bunch of big names, and they wanna try and make it super funny. Hopefully that works. But
Yeah.
moving on to the next topic, we have something that's pretty cool and super duper weird coming up. I don't know if you've seen this, so the actual topic is for WB, like Warner Brothers, the entity, right? They have a beat 'em up video game that's coming out similar to like Super Smash Bros.
Yes.
So we got this first kind of nugget, and I don't own it, but I've seen a lot of it. It's the Nickelodeon Brawlers or Brawl Stars, something
Yes.
like that. And as you can tell from the name, it's a bunch of Nickelodeon characters duking it out, Super Mario Brothers style. I mean, Super Smash Brothers style. So it's just kind of like that's what it's called, Nickelodeon All Star Brawl.
Yeah.
So they have characters from all over the place, and they have like new costumes coming out, and it's actually really cool. So I just want to see like who the characters are because they have a ridiculous amount of characters. Like, okay, so we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We have Leonardo and Michelangelo. We have Danny Phantom, Cat Dog, Invader Zim, SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Ren and Stimpy, April O'Neil, Nigel Thornberry,
That's
uh,
funny.
Helga from Hey Arnold, Korra and Aang from Avatar. Oh,
Oh,
and Toph, Reptar from Rugrats. There's a couple more, and it looks like their plan is to continue to roll out like alternate costumes and maybe more characters in the future.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it's just and it's so weird. They all have like supers and stuff like that, and they're all beating the crap out of each other. From what I've seen like different reviews online. The gameplay is kind of lacking. Same thing with like the um the story and
This is
the
Nick.
voiceovers.
This is the
Like
Nick.
they have voiceover clips, but no one actually really does any voicing, and all that. Like the winning animations kind of suck, and like so it kind of seems like they made this thing through a bunch of characters and then thought about everything else on the back end, right? So they didn't really care about a story. They didn't care about saying how these characters all ended up together. They didn't care about giving like full on voicing when they do different attacks or anything like that. They didn't care about the extra bells and whistles of like how the menu looks, how the winning animations are done. Typically, they show the winner and they do something cool, whatever. There's none of that. Some of the characters are really well done in the videos I've seen. Like Reptar is really cool. Ren and Stimpy. It
Yeah.
looks like the older characters got some love, and I guess that's for like nostalgia. But it's just a weird thing. I'm happy it exists, and I wish it was better. As it goes on, I'm sure I'll pick it up when it like goes on sale or something,
Yeah.
because hopefully it'll get way better and it'll be cool to have.
I can.
Um, I hear the fighting's clunky, but the actual topic that I want to talk, this is a comparison. WB has their version coming out and it's called Multiverses. And it is it's like a freaking fever dream. It's so weird. So it's I gotta yeah, Multiverses, right? And let's see. I gotta find the it's not this one. Okay, I can't find too much more. They YouTube has the trailer, but
Yes, they do.
it just looks like it just looks crazy because there's everyone from like Bugs Bunny, Superman, Wonder
Exactly.
Woman, Tom and Jerry, Arya from Game of Thrones. They had Batman. They have Harley Quinn, Jake from Adventure Time. Uh,
Shaggy.
oh, they have Shaggy, and Shaggy has like he can go like super. He can go. What is
I'm
it?
sure
Ultra
he's
Instinct Shaggy,
because he
like
was
from
like
the
from the
memes.
memes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he also has he has a costume that turns him into freaking Bruce Lee.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I saw.
Yeah, it's like it's the yellow suit, and he like does all the hand motions, and he has the glasses. It's so random. Um, who else? We have I think Steven Universe characters in there, and
Oh yeah. What's her name? Garnet.
Garnet, Garnet and Steven. They
Oh,
show him.
okay.
Um, it's just a wild thing. Like, I mean, it's super cool, but again, like, what is it?
Who
It seems like it's getting a little more video game love, right? Like, so it looks like they're dedicating some more time to like animations and the overall feel of it. I don't know anything about the story if that's gonna get touched on, like how they all got there, but it looks like they have this kind of like direction with this. Like, it's not just a bunch of characters fighting, but you get a little bit of extra stuff on the back end.
Yeah. It when you said the story, I thought of Space Jam 2. I was just like, oh, what if they did that and just decided to be like, oh, there this what was it called? What was Space Jam 2's world
A
called?
new legacy.
No, no, but like the world that it was like the WB verse or whatever.
Oh, it was
Some sort of like network.
the serververse.
Yeah, like I feel like that's what that is, but with the video game. I
Yeah,
don't know. Looking at it, it looks pretty cool. Like I'm not like fiending for it because
I
like
mean it is because Warner Brothers. That's under Warner Brothers, right?
yeah,
And technically speaking, if we want to get crazy, they have all these intellectual properties. They can bring in like
as many as they want.
they could bring in King Kong. They can bring in like if they have like a big like mech fight thing, they can bring in
Oh, Godzilla.
Iron Giant.
Yeah,
They can bring in the scary like the monster guys like it. I think I think they own Freddy and like Freddy Krueger.
yeah, yeah. But that's
But
it.
there's
Yeah,
a bunch that they can
they
bring
could
in
do
if they
that.
really wanted to.
They could just make it because it is. It seems like family friendly. So like, if they wanted to do something for Halloween and they make Freddy
Yeah.
like not so scary, but like obviously it's
Or like costumes. I can see them doing like scary costumes for the different characters, but
yeah.
it's insane.
When it comes
Like
to like beat 'em up games, like I think what holds the crown, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but like Smash Bros. But like I feel like a lot of people try, or a lot of companies try to do that. Where like you said, the Nickelodeon, it was just like they just threw this thing in the blender and decided, hey, this is our Smash version, but
yep.
didn't get a lot of love because probably the gameplay was meh. Games that still is somewhat successful because they keep making their own version. The Jump franchise, there was
Mm.
they'd had all the anime characters and the shonen characters in a game. There were a few that were dope. The recent one called Jump Force, it was whatever to me, but I remember playing the one for like DS. That was pretty cool, but still wasn't as big as Super Smash Bros. But this one, I want to say once it's out and if it gets that traction, can it get up there?
This is the one where like I think it could be kind of the story of Fortnite and
Mm,
the other one. I don't even
Overwatch.
remember. No, not Overwatch. Um,
What do you mean?
oh my gosh, Player Unknown.
I don't
It
know.
was Player Unknown's something, and it was like a realistic Fortnite.
Oh, I don't know that.
It came out before Fortnite,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't think I ever knew the name. I just always heard people talking
and
about
it was like the first big
it. Yeah.
battle royale thing.
As we
Dang it.
both look it up.
Battlegrounds, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Got it.
So that's what it was. I think it's the story of it was PUBG.
Mm,
That's what they used to call it.
okay.
So I mean, it's still a thing, but Player Unknown Battlegrounds to Fortnite, right? I think it'll be the Nickelodeon one to this WB one. It'll be like they came out with this idea, and then this other one it came out at the same time. It's not like they stole anything, but I think this one is going to perfect it with how the previous one came out and launched and did, right? So this multiverses, from WB, I think there's way more properties that they can bring in that'll appeal to way more different people. It's,
True.
it's just they have hundreds if not thousands of different IPs that they can bring in and have fight each other. It's a game where they can just continue to add character to character and character, and they can put this on multiple devices. It's not like it's a, to my knowledge, it doesn't look like it's a very graphic intense
Yeah, you can
game.
definitely put this. What's it called? There's a term for it, but yes, you can put it on multiple devices.
Yeah,
Cross-platforming. Yeah, you can.
yeah, it can be
It
cross
has the
platform.
ability to do that.
So,
The one thing that's really dope about it, from when I saw it, it has a potential to be just like Smash Bros. But the one unique thing I caught from it was that I forget what game. A lot of games do this, but what they implemented is that you have two characters, so you can do like
mhm,
these supers together. So like instead of like in Smash where it's like the final attack, you have Superman teaming up with Arya. Like that's uncanny,
yeah,
but like that's pretty dope. Um, oh, also reminds me, which also is by WB, but it reminds me of Cartoon Network's beat 'em up game. I forget what it was
hmm,
called, but you can
I know what
also
you're talking
do
about.
that too. Like they're like, oh, let's just throw in Ben 10. You can easily do that.
Yeah, they have all the
They
Cartoon
have that.
Network
I
stuff.
remember it was just strictly Cartoon Network, but they can do this for the
Yeah,
WB game.
it's all under Warner Brothers, so they can bring in Cartoon Network people. They can bring in anyone you could freaking imagine.
Yeah.
Do they have Power Rangers? Does WB have Power Rangers?
Power Rangers is it's not Disney. It's because I know Power Rangers is bouncing around. Oh, it's not even Saban anymore. I think Saban.
No, it got bought from
I think
Saban,
it
who
was
did the last Power Rangers movie.
I think it was Legendary.
Oh,
No,
okay.
because they sold it. I would have to look it up, but I
Well,
know they sold. This has been bouncing. Yeah, like Power Rangers has bounced around so long through Saban, but then Saban finally sold it, and they're not even going to continue that last Power Rangers movie. So that's crazy. I think it was what's that toy company? Has it was I don't know if it's Hasbro or it was like a toy company or either. I have to look it up, but it's not Saban anymore.
yeah.
Oh, that would be dope
So,
because if they, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like the Power Rangers that showed up in not Mortal Kombat, the DC game. Why am I forgetting the names of these games? It's been so long.
they can bring that
They
they
can,
can bring that out. And I mean, if we want to get crazy, they have Warner Brothers has Mortal Kombat. They can bring in Mortal Kombat characters.
they could. Yeah,
You know what else? This is gonna be a really cool segue. Hang on. You know what else WB has?
do it, do it, do it, do it,
Harry Potter.
bro. That's
They
like
could.
Harry Potter's like when Sora was brought into Smash Bros. Like you
Yep.
gotta do it. Like, but you have to always tease it, but never put Harry Potter in the game. Like
Just
throw someone else.
10 years later, it'll go in.
Yeah, like put in like someone like Hagrid, and then later on put in like Malfoy just to mess with people, and then like 3 years later it'd be like, oh yeah, Harry Potter's in this.
So it's a segue because the next topic, just a little honorable mention, is oh hi CC. For the listeners that can't enjoy CC's beautiful face, she just came on screen. Go check out the YouTube channel. So anyway, yeah, segueing into our next topic, which is Harry Potter. Um, there's gonna be on HBO Max a Harry Potter reunion. So it's gonna be a reunion special similar to what they did with Fresh Prince. All right, they brought the cast back, Fresh Prince and with Friends. Brought the cast back. They had like a little reading. They reminisced on all these things. But it's definitely a lot. It's gonna be a lot for people to see because we haven't seen them in a movie together in years at this point.
Yeah, I don't think
Last Harry
they've ever
Potter
done
was
anything. Yeah,
like a decade ago.
yeah,
Um, and the cool part about this movie, well, about this news, is that along with this reunion news that's happening, the original director for Harry Potter 1 and 2 wants to get the original cast back. So we're talking about Rupert Grant, right?
yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. He wants to get them back to do the the last Harry Potter book, which wasn't by J.K. Rowling, but it's a continuation. It was written to be a stage play. It's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
And they're of that age
And
too to do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're probably going to be really down to do that. So, and I don't know if you remember, Harry Potter had a couple directors during its tenure, right? But the first two are kind of touted as the best. In my eyes, they're the best as well. I love that director. I loved how they framed that story, and you can see it. Like not too long ago, me and my wife we watched all the Harry Potters back to back, and you can really see after two.
Hmm.
Three was actually very, very good too. I think three has like the highest critic score of all.
Believe so.
Yeah, three was really good. But after that first three, you can kind of see the downtick in, I don't want to say quality, but maybe story. And just those first three had a lot of time and effort and passion put into it, and you can feel it. And then the rest of them, it's kind of like a steady
You
decline.
can feel like the suit's hand in it.
Yeah,
Like you
that's
can
what it
see it,
is.
like it's definitely it's a money game at that point, but like you feel it. Like I remember one time I was talking to someone, like they said, "What's your favorite Harry Potter movie?" And I was like, honestly, I like Half Blooded Prince. I believe that was the fifth one.
Half Blood Prince, that's
Half,
six.
no, then what's the Goblet of no? What's
So
the
we got,
it's Order of
when
the
we run
Phoenix.
it, Order Phoenix is five.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I like. I was like, I like that one a lot, but I was like, I like it, but if I had to really choose gun to the head, like one was my favorite because like that's the one I saw in theaters.
Yeah.
That's the one I had on VHS in Spanish. So I used to watch that in Spanish. So I worked on my Spanish on just watching that, knowing what the whole movie was about. I don't know that it had a special place in my heart because it's like I remember fourth grade, my teacher reading the book to us,
Hmm.
and then this was around the time where my dad didn't let me see any PG-13 movies, so I couldn't
Yeah.
see Lord of the Rings because it was PG-13. But there was also Harry Potter, and then
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh, we're gonna go see that," and we saw it, and that was a tradition we did for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and I was like, and you can see, like I said, like the money, like the suits, the producers just sticking their hand and they're like, "Let's make more money."
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and I have a very similar, um, like, memory with my dad. Like, my dad was a pretty big pop culture pop culture nerd, like, in the
Mm,
'80s, right? His thing, like, he was really into, like, He-Man. He used to like to build computers. He was into the nerdy stuff. He always had video games. He always had a Game Boy, and he knew about Lord of the Rings. We actually, as a family, we all went to go see Lord of the Rings because we knew what it was, what it was going to be about.
yeah.
And but with Harry Potter, I remember coming out of school. I was still in my school uniform. I was
Mm,
coming out of school, and me and my dad went to go see the first one. And I remember that so vividly because seeing that in the theaters, and I'm sure kids have their like aha moment when it comes to like movie magic,
yeah.
but that was one of them for me. When I went to go see Harry Potter in the theaters, the first one, and I saw the boats on the water and you see the full image of the castle when they first go into the grand hall, you see how big it is with the
Yeah.
candles floating. And that for me was one of the craziest things. I was like, "Oh snap, this is amazing."
Yeah.
Like
The
this.
bathroom scene was so tense too. Like I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I was like, someone can actually die. I was like,
Oh, yeah, when they're fighting the troll in the bathroom,
yeah,
yeah, it was
that was
they
scary.
didn't they didn't pull the punches just because it's, like, kids, it's like, no,
Yeah,
they're in real danger,
yeah,
um, real, fantasy danger, but, yeah, it's one of those things where and that's Erica's favorite movie franchise. There's something to be said about it, there's magic there, like, real magic, movie magic is in that first one for
yeah,
sure. So it's cool that they're doing this reunion. I really can't wait to see if the rumors of them coming back for that for the eighth book and movie. Well, eighth book, ninth movie, because seven split into two.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I double checked. We haven't seen them in a Harry Potter movie in 10 years.
It's a long time. Yeah,
Deathly Hollows Part Two came out in 2011.
that's a long time.
That's crazy.
Like
2011.
that was our freshman year.
Yeah,
I was like, wow.
yeah, that's bonkers. So it would be really cool to see them all reprise their roles and be adults in the correct
Yeah,
setting
like I would
because
like to. They're that age to be those characters
yeah,
at
exactly.
the time. So I would like to see that.
It'd be really cool to see.
Because
So I mean, I'm hoping it ends up being true. I don't know anything about Cursed Child. I just know that it's
yeah,
about Harry's kid,
he has Harry's son. Yeah,
Harry and Jenny's son. But I would like to know more about it. I mean, the one thing that would suck, and this is if the suits get involved, right, is that book is a contained story.
Mhm.
There's a start and an end.
Or you think they're gonna
I don't want a trilogy.
they're
I
gonna do
do
it?
I don't want a trilogy like The Hobbit or like the other the Fantastical Beasts.
Yeah, there was no need
Like
for that either.
the first one was okay,
I
and
heard
like it
that I
was
think it was just 1 and 2, right? Like, would have been
there's supposed to be a third one. They're making the third one.
no, no, but I'm saying 1 and 2 should have been fine, and then,
I honestly just one I would have been okay with,
uh
but I didn't see the second one. The first one, it was cute. They showed some cool monsters. You kind of it takes place in like the 20s or 30s.
yeah, it's like yeah.
So it expands the world more for sure. Um and it's a fun little romp, but then the second one got into Dumbledore.
So it made it more about the Harry Potter.
Yeah, it kind of bled closer to the Harry Potter. So you see a young Dumbledore who played by Jude Law,
Oh, yeah.
and it's back when he's a professor before he's the headmaster and all that. And we see that. I believe this is also where we got confirmation that he was actually gay or bi, and
Mhm.
he had a relation with an evil wizard. And I forgot the whole deal, but the evil wizard, I think he was the one who stole the Elder Wand in the last movies. Like there's a flashback and it shows him. Um, Grin Grinwald,
Well,
Grimwald, and that one was played by Johnny Depp. We
yeah.
find out at the end of the first movie it's Johnny Depp in disguise, but ever since then they recasted him for the third movie because
So maybe
stuff Johnny Depp was getting into. But it to me. I think one movie would have been fun, and then they're just bleeding it out for more, and it's just unnecessary.
yeah. And the one thing too, and this is just me, and it is not necessarily nitpicky. It makes sense. When you do a movie like Fantastic Beasts, every and you agree with this, like every time there's a like Harry Potter, when you think Harry Potter, you know the song.
Yeah,
Fantastic Beasts took the Harry Potter song, which doesn't make sense. Like I remember when Star Wars was created, well, when Star Wars, you had the new trilogy and Rogue One, and it had its own theme. You rarely, seldom heard the original soundtrack in those. Like Han Solo does have his own sound theme. Yes, use it for the Solo movie, which makes sense. Rogue One, I don't even recall hearing anything Star Wars related.
I
Oh,
think the only thing that we hear is at the end when the credits roll
yeah,
and when Darth Vader comes in.
yeah. Sorry, spoiler.
I think they do like a remixed, slowed down version, a
Yeah,
more like intense version of his theme when he first gets shown and he's like killing a bunch of people.
exactly. But for something like that, fantastic. Because I remember sitting there. I was watching a commercial. I was like, "That's Harry Potter's theme song." I was
Yeah,
like, "No, Harry Potter's not in this." Like,
yeah,
what? And
they
that's
did this.
just to grab money. You hear that song,
Yeah,
you literally think Harry Potter. But like, I want to go see Harry Potter when I hear that. If they really believed in their Fantastic Beasts product, they would have tried to do something new with it. And I don't know who did the music for Fantastic Beast. I don't believe it was uh, John Williams. They
no,
probably just I guess because WB owns the rights to the music. They're like we can do whatever we want
yeah.
and just hired someone else to remix it and do whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a cash grab, and like you said, if they really believed in their product, they would have pushed it out as something separate. Like, yeah, this is this, but it exists in this world. Whereas they were like, hey, you remember Harry Potter? There's something else with crazy wizard stuff, and it made me think more, like you said with that song, think more of Harry Potter. And once you think of the old thing, you have an expectation.
Exactly. That's
And
fact.
they shouldn't have done that. They should have been like they should have tried to separate it as much as possible while still letting people know what's in the Harry Potter world. And I think they did the opposite. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna continue stories in the Harry Potter world, so get ready." And it's not really what it is. It follows a whole character that you don't even know about. And I think it would have been fine as his own story, but they just didn't back it enough, you
Yeah,
know.
I agree.
And you could see it in not only in marketing but in like product, right?
Yeah,
So when a movie really has something that they're trying to make money off of, what do they make? Toys.
toys.
The
Yep.
toys that they're still making are the Daniel Radcliffe Harry Potter toys. No one really cares about the Fantastic Beasts stuff. And when you go into Universal Studios here in Orlando, like there's nothing about that new movie. Like
Maybe like a
maybe like
little
a
corner,
plush or something.
yeah, in little corners of the Harry Potter world. Um, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
yeah.
it kind of sucked. I really hope if they do that, they keep it to contain. Like I can understand splitting a book into two, but typically the first one, it kind of like suffers a little bit when that happens. I don't want a trilogy. It's an unnecessary thing. One book, bless you.
Thank you.
One book, just keep it to that. Hopefully they don't do too much. Um so moving on, sticking with like some movie news. Have you seen the trailer for this new movie? It looks super duper cute. Um it's Disney's and Pixar's new movie called Turning Red.
Yes, I saw the trailer. I thought it was cute. I can't wait to see it. Um,
It looks so funny.
yeah,
And
like I
it's
ne-
just
I don't recall like no, I actually tell you I was gonna say I don't remember seeing like something like this, but it's Pixar like but this is something fresh and new, so
Mhm.
I'm excited for it.
It's really cute. It follows this girl named May. She's a Asian American little girl going through school, doing schoolwork. She's very much like confident in girl power and stuff like that. And she has her group of friends that are all like nerdy but girl power.
Hmm.
And she finds out one day that she can turn into this massive red panda, and it's this like curse that her family has, right? So when she doesn't control her emotions, she basically hulks out and becomes this massive red panda, but it's super cute looking. And she's just trying to be normal and contain her emotions and stuff, but she's an adolescent girl and a bunch of stuff is happening to her in school and at home, and they all have this crush on like a boy band. It looks super
That
cute.
that to me was the best because it's just like it's just like real life, and it
Yeah,
reminds me of like how everyone loves this. I believe they're Korean. This Korean band they're into now.
oh, you're talking about BTS?
I guess if
Yeah.
that's their name.
It's
Like,
K-pop.
you
Yeah.
knew that so fast. I was just like, but
Yeah, it's the same type of deal, right?
yeah, I
So
thought it
it's
was
just
great.
cute. It looks like a really good coming of age story, similar vein of like Inside Out, right?
Yeah, that
Um,
was the first thing I thought of. I like that.
yeah. But it looks cute. It has its own little spin. And it's like a Hulk, but for little kids.
Oh, the
You know,
little
it
yeah,
looks like it's gonna be really fun.
it's like the Red
Uh,
Hulk, but in
and
pack
then sticking with Disney here, me and Eric actually on Saturday.
maybe.
I think it was Saturday. Saturday night, we went to go see the new Disney animated movie Encanto.
Ah, yes. How was that?
That movie was really, really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's super
that's just
cool.
Disney Animation, right?
Yeah, it's just Disney Animation
Yeah, I
Studios.
gotta
It's
check that
not.
out.
It's not Pixar.
Tell me things.
Um, Super cool. It is a not necessarily a of age story because it does start out when the main character is a little girl, but it does a time jump and she's like a young woman, and the whole thing is that her family all have powers that they were granted at a young age, and
Yeah.
she's the only one that doesn't have it. So since she doesn't have the gift, she's super normal and she's trying to fit in. She's trying to help people out. She's very, I guess, aware of her shortcomings, and she doesn't want to be like she's always out there to help someone, but she always is kind of getting in the way at the same time, and her family makes her feel like she's getting in the way.
Mm, that's
So there's a lot of points where it's really sad because it's somebody that's trying really hard to fit in, and they just can't seem to fit in even with their family. So I think that that right there is going to resonate a lot with people because everyone at some point has felt like an outcast.
yeah. And I can see where it's coming from too, like the points it's trying to make from what you're describing. I can see that.
Yeah, it was really great. The music was fantastic. I recommend it for everyone. The ending, oh my god, I teared up at the ending.
You know,
It was
if you're not
in
crying,
true
they didn't do their job.
yeah, in true Disney fashion, right? You fall in love with this character and her family, right? It's a whole group of characters. You fall in love with them, and then you see beneath the surface. It does a really good job at analyzing problems that people don't necessarily talk about,
Mhm.
right? So let's say just mild spoilers, not really spoilers, but one of them, she's super strong. You saw it in the trailer. She's one of her sisters is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
And in her song, when each one of them kind of has a little song to talk about what they're dealing with
Yeah.
inside. So in her song, she's like, "I'm so strong, but because of that, my family puts all of their problems on me
Mm,
because they think I can handle it. When inside, I really can't." So really kind of flipping the whole like, "Oh, you're super strong, you can handle all these things," like whether that be physically or mentally. People forget that you need a break sometimes. And it kind of really shed light on that. And each one has their own little thing of that nature, right? And it talks about their gift or what they bring to the table, and then this internal struggle that they deal with that no one else really knows. And then they kind of come to grips. And the whole point of it is the main character,
mm,
um, Mirabelle,
mm.
she helps them realize their problem and then overcome it.
Okay.
So it's really cool, and in a sense of like finding your place, and just because you don't think you're special doesn't mean you're not special. And it does a really good job at showing people that they can do anything. And a very like, yes, everyone has like a cool, crazy gift, but herself is she's just a normal person, and they do a really good job at normalizing the fact that even though you might not think you have a talent, you could still be very important.
True.
And just
I like that.
because you don't see it right away, like when you're 5, right, and you don't have a crazy talent when you're 5 years old, doesn't mean that when you're 20 or 30, you can fulfill what you're meant to do. It's really good. The animation is awesome. They have cute little jokes. Music is great. One of the Average J's alumni makes a appearance in John Leguizamo. I
Mm,
know we talked crap about him an episode or two ago, but he really did this character really well.
okay.
I liked it a lot. Um, he had a song and everything.
I might just
Main character, she's super cool, and the actress is
Stephanie.
Stephanie something. She
Yeah,
was in The Heights, and she's also on Brooklyn Nine Nine.
which I just finished.
Great show, right?
Hmm.
I need to rewatch it. I got up to I don't know, I watched like 3 or 4 seasons.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Then I stopped, and then I have to finish it out.
But yes. I was gonna
But
ask, was her power this whole time making them feel better?
it's like
You don't have to
she
spoil it.
doesn't ever get a power. FYI, spoilers. She
That's
doesn't
why I
get one.
figured. Like that's.
She her thing is she's a normal human, and because of that, she kind of appreciates the things she can't do,
Hmm.
and with that appreciation comes being able to listen to others
Yeah,
and appreciate others very well. So
I
in
like
doing
that.
that, she's kind of like a like her family doesn't have to put on this show when they're with her. They can be very real.
Mm.
And because of that, she's able to listen and be like, "Hey, it's okay that you can't do X, Y, and Z." Like, and she's the one that because of her, she makes everyone else stronger. So that's her power. Her power is like is listening and
It,
being
like
a good person.
amplifies them. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. And you know what's funny? It like wrinkles my brain to think that Disney could make stuff like this, but then when it comes to their live action stuff, like it's either hit or miss. Just using this as an example, like Mulan, the live action version. I'm happy I didn't pay to see that because when I saw it, I was like, this is not the Mulan I grew up with. Yes, I
Mhm.
understand it's supposed to be an adaptation of its original Disney movie, but it took away something important, and that's what like in in Encanto, she she doesn't gain a power, right? She's still who she is in the beginning. In Mulan, the '90s version, she's just a normal girl going through war and doing her thing and saving China. The live action,
Normal girl stuff.
yeah, normal girl stuff, right? In the live action one, they just gave her this innate ability that she has. Like she has the force. And I was just like, why does she need the force to be a great woman? Why can't she just be a normal woman? And Disney
Mm,
did well with that, but why do
mhm.
that? And I guess with live action, they have to like up it a little bit. But I'm like, you don't have to do that.
I feel like they didn't need to. Like you said, they should have. The whole thing with Mulan is that she felt very alone and
Yeah.
pushed to the side, and then she kind of behind everyone's back did her own thing to save her dad. And at the end, the only thing that changed was that she felt more empowered in herself. That's it. She
Yeah,
didn't get a power, she didn't have any special weapon. It was just like, I believe in myself and I know I can do these things, and I'm doing it for the better of, my fellow man.
yeah.
See, knowing I still haven't seen the live action Mulan, but knowing that, I'm not rushing to see it now.
Yeah,
It
she was just born with it, and the
Mhm,
the thing about it, and I get why they did it, but they couldn't done the same thing without the ability factor. So she was
no,
born with this ability. I'm gonna just call it the Force. She was born with the Force, and her dad every time, you have to, lower the women because women are second in this culture, in time. Um, I forgot what she was doing. She was like chasing something. She was jumping. She was doing ninja stuff. But her
mhm,
dad comes at the end was like, "You can't do that. You gotta hide who you are." Blah blah blah. So I didn't know what he was talking about. Hide that she's a woman, or because she's a woman, or hide the ability, and that was confusing to me. And even
mm,
if it meant the power, which it seems like it was leaning towards it, I didn't like that because then now you're telling me, okay, hide her ability. Like she has the ability to freaking conquer the world. Why would you stop someone like that?
yeah,
And it just I didn't care much for this Mulan character. I was like, okay. And when she finally breaks out, she does this like, in like in Force Unleashed 2, she does this, and everyone's
yeah,
like, oh, and then she's just doing Matrix level stuff. You see in Reloaded, and I'm like, this is not the Mulan who used her wits to blow up this mountain,
yeah,
and which she does in the movie, in the live action one, but it didn't have that same, oh my god, they're gonna fall off the cliff. Like I wasn't edge of my seat, right?
mhm,
But but just going back to it, like I like that Encanto still keeps faith to like, okay, we don't need to give her ability. She
yeah.
does it
Like, she's
in,
in I don't know if you saw the trailer, but she's in this, like, magical house.
yeah, yeah.
So there's things around her that have abilities, but she herself is very human. She does not
Yeah,
have an ability. And going back to the whole Mulan thing, like, the whole point of Mulan is that she was a normal girl. The
yeah,
fact that now and this was something that I thought was cool about the movie because they had its roots in, like, the old-timey ninja and samurai movies where, they would jump from house to house and be crazy acrobatic, and I thought that was a selling point, but the fact that Disney tried to explain it with a power is not cool.
yeah.
They could have paid homage to those older kung fu movies
Yes, they could have.
with them doing that and just making it a part of the movie and not explaining it like, "Oh, she had the force." No,
Yeah.
that kinda sucks, yeah.
Yeah,
But
it was disappointing. But I like that, like, and this girl, what's her name? Mirabal?
yeah,
And after
Mirabelle.
she didn't, yeah, like she basically it's like, and going forward with Disney movies, you don't need a prince to be happy at the end. Like I remember back in the day, the princess had to always get the prince, but moving forward, like, uh what's a, okay, just Encanto. I can't think of a movie off the top of my head real quick, but yeah, you just don't need the ability, the boyfriend, the Prince Charming at the end.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, I like that they're kinda moving away from that. I mean, even in, whatchamacallit, like Moana, right?
Yeah,
It's just
Moana, yeah,
centered
right,
around
Ariel.
her.
That was another one. Yeah,
She has no prince. I mean, she has a demigod she has to go get,
I
but
was gonna,
she's the hero at the end, like
she has the rock.
yeah, and then, I mean, even Mulan, as far back as then, like, yeah, someone fell in love with her, but he was the secondary
Actually,
character.
he got her. Or
Yeah.
wait, no, well, he didn't get her.
Well, she got him.
She got him.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
he fell in love with her, it wasn't like she saw him, fell in love, and was like the whole movie was her trying to get him, it was a
she was trying to.
secondary thing
Yeah,
a
it was the
secondary plot
secondary.
line.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, it seems like as we go on, right, like, we see the empowerment of women, and I think this was a really good one just in a normalized situation, it had nothing to do with that she was a girl, they didn't talk about anything, like, it was just being a good person, and
yeah,
I think that that's a really good message for anyone.
exactly.
And I mean, it's super awesome that it was a girl, and I really like Stephanie. I
Beatrice,
always forget her last name,
I mean,
but
Beatrice, I believe it's called. It's a
oh
B.
yeah,
It's
Stephanie
yep,
Beatrice.
Beatrice. Yep.
Beatrice. Okay, cool. Yeah, she's a super cool actor. I like her. She's very quirky, um, and I didn't even know she could smile. I was a fan of Brooklyn Nine Nine,
Yeah,
and
I've seen her in other stuff. That's why. But in
she's
Brooklyn Nine, with a rare time she smiles.
she's
I
super
love her
stoic,
character Rosa.
and I loved her as Rosa in Brooklyn Nine Nine. And then in The Heights, she's very like ditzy Spanish girl, and I thought that was really fun. And then in
I still
this
have to
one,
see that.
it's animated, so you're not seeing the actual actress,
Well, yeah,
but
but her voice, you can
her
tell.
voice is very buoyant and it's happy when it needs to be because there's some sad times. But great movie, Encanto. I suggest you go see it. Very colorful, very very colorful, and the music is really nice. It takes place in Colombia. They don't ever really say it, but
I
it's
believe
supposed to
it's
be.
like South America, like down, like
Yeah,
or not Mexico because we know that was Coco, but I think they're really trying to be more diverse when it comes. They're
yeah,
like,
and
oh, Spanish is not just Mexico people.
yeah, exactly. And it's it takes place in Colombia and it's very very vibrant. The culture, like they even have knots like the food, the architecture,
Nice.
what they're wearing is all like maybe not traditional, but it's like it's true to their culture, like
Yeah,
the stuff that they wear. It's nice. Very very cool movie.
I'm with it.
But sticking with Disney, we're going to head into
What a lie!
the
it is
Spider-Verse.
technically Disney.
I mean, it's technically
You
Disney.
should. You know what you should have done? You should have like. You know what they need to do? Like when you edit this, you should like make it. You know, remember in Spider-Man: Homecoming when they show like him in the hotel and he does that flip? You can see there was like there's a lot of wires in that room before the edit. You should do that and just like post yourself in the corner like Spider-Man. Like,
Okay. I'm gonna try and figure that out.
probably not.
Or I'm just gonna put like the old timey like remember in cartoons when they used to like put the face like go
Yeah,
forward and be like
yeah. I thought that's what you.
yeah.
That'd
So,
probably be a lot easier than using wires and green screen.
so big topic for today, Spider-Man No Way Home. We got just like in every other episode, we have more news, more stuff going on, more I guess this is more like behind the scene type of deal because it might not be necessarily for the movie, but it's about the movie.
It's about
So at this point in time, we've seen the posters, we've seen the trailers, everything has come out, right? Doc Ock is in there.
yeah.
At least one Green Goblin is in there. Electro, Sandman, Lizard. We have the villains lined up.
Justin got this because he stopped frame by frame, called me after two watchings.
So we got the villains lined up, and it's been confirmed who is who. We've even kind of gotten like some little details in there. We've seen Electro's suit looks like it's powered by an arc reactor. So now there's rumors about maybe he was the one that killed Iron Man in his universe.
Mhm. But do
So
you think? Well, question though, I've seen that possibility
mhm.
or the rumor that not the rumor, but that his arc reactor creates the electrical. But do you think he himself is electrical as well?
So I think it's kind of going off of
Because there's the Ultimate
Com
Universe.
yeah, the ultimate where he is pure electricity, which is what they
Yes,
did in Amazing Spider-Man,
yes,
but I think what they're kinda leaning towards is the original comic book run where he can create electricity,
but he
but
is
he
not.
also, like, can control it from his surroundings, so I'm assuming that little, reactor is a continuous supply to him, so he can just
Okay,
be more and more powerful, and he himself is not pure electricity.
that makes sense. Okay,
That's what I'm thinking.
I figured because it's been done, they're not trying to do it again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I mean, I'm all for whichever,
yeah,
but I that's what I'm thinking for right now. So there's not like obviously we have no clue what's really going on, but we
yeah.
got the villains lined up. We've seen like returning characters. Aunt May's there. We saw Happy. We saw
It's in there.
Doctor Strange,
MJ.
MJ,
His best
James,
friend. Wow, why am
Nate,
I forgetting Nate? Yeah,
J. Jonah Jameson. Like we have all the returning characters, and it looks
Ed.
cool. Ned, that's what it was, not Nate. Um, so it's pretty much lined up right now, and all we have to do is go watch the thing.
Yeah,
So,
bought my ticket.
oh, you did?
Yeah.
I haven't bought it yet, just because over here it doesn't really like sell out like that.
Oh, so you were
So
chilling.
yeah, so I'm not really worried.
The perks of
I'll
now.
probably get it. I'll still get it beforehand,
Yeah,
but I'm
definitely.
not like worried about securing a ticket.
Yeah,
Um, but talking about tickets, this past weekend they went on sale and they immediately are all gone.
yeah. They just crashed the like
Yeah, they
Fandango AMC list,
Yeah,
A list.
they crash all the websites, and it's crazy. I even saw some articles talking about people reselling it for like up to $1,000 per
They're
ticket.
they're just being douches.
It's wild. I don't understand. Like,
There's no need.
it's just so ridiculous to me. It sucks because then that means that there's people out there that all they did was buy tickets to resell, which
Yeah.
suck. Because what you spend in over here, adult tickets are only $10,
Hmm.
right? But
So
over
yeah, New York is
New York, some of them are like $18.
15. Well, most likely 18 now. Yeah, so it's not 15 anymore, guys, unless you're going in the morning. But it's like 18 going to IMAX, almost $30.
Yeah, so then you do that, and then you're spending what $40 on two tickets, and then you're gonna sell them for $1,000. That's so messed up.
That's yeah, that's not even cool. Because you okay? Are you gonna go see it and you're just gonna have an empty seat next to you? You still lost $30. What's the point?
It's just so unnecessary. I hate that people have this urge to profit off of anything, and it sucks. Like it can't just be like back in the day when you wanted to go see a movie, like you would go see it and you'd be hyped and like you'd be able to go see it.
Yeah,
But now it's creating this culture of like, oh, if you didn't buy your ticket 3 weeks ago, you can't see this movie, which
yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
Unless you want to spend a couple $100 on a ticket. Like,
Yeah,
come
that
on,
goes along
man.
with spoilers too. Like you can't even like, oh, let me wait 3 weeks to see this movie.
Yeah.
But you go online and people are just putting it online, and it's kind of like, yeah, but why put a major plot point from the movie? Like if it's been 3 years or a year, maybe 5 months, but don't put it a week later. Because I remember with
Yeah, like
Endgame, it was like such a serious thing that the director was like, please do not spoil the movie. And then I remember seeing stuff on social media. It was like, all right, it's been 2 weeks. You should have seen it by now. It's like, yeah, but no one has the luxury to just
yeah,
go
not
see
everyone
something right away.
yeah, not everyone can go see everything right away. I can understand. To me, in my head, what makes sense is spoilers go out when the DVD drops, which is typically 2 to 3 months after the theatrical run is done.
Yeah,
By that point in time, I can understand it's out of theaters. Listen, if you didn't see it, you're kind of on your own.
yeah,
But the point of like reselling and all this, it comes from this spoiler culture and people not wanting to get it spoiled and wanting to be surprised in the theater. And it sucks that in order for that to happen, we need to pay through the nose to a stranger. That's not fair. I don't
yeah.
think that's
It's
cool
really
at
not
all.
fair. And if I don't know, I'm sure there's ways to crack down. Because I know like when people try to sell tickets like for concerts and stuff like that, it's not like I'm here thinking like the old days, like they're standing out there with shady jackets, like yo,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm pretty sure this stuff is done online right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be a way, or if there is a way to crack down on it, because it really is not fair. Because it, but there's so many things that can go wrong, like pirating. Like people might not even go see the theater because of COVID; they might just pirate it. Um, and it's I don't even know where if they can even because it's technically a Sony movie as well, so it's not going to be on like a Disney Plus Premium.
Yeah,
So
no.
somehow people are going to get their hands on it, shotgun it into the internet, and millions of people are going to have their hands on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I really hope, I'm gonna go see it opening day, opening weekend. I don't know. I hope we get better as a society with this because it's just not cool.
it's not. Yeah,
You know.
it really diminishes like the movie going aspect and the people that love superheroes and stuff like that. Like when I went to see Endgame, I couldn't get a ticket that week. So we got it for the week after because we wanted to get it in IMAX. We got it a week later. And that entire week I was off social media. I was not on it. It was tough because like sometimes
Well,
my
that was when we went, right?
oh yes, that was
Yeah.
before. Yeah. I did not go on social media that whole
Yeah.
week.
You
And
have
it
to go
was tough.
completely like you have to go off the
I was
grid.
off the grid. I was like the only possible spoilers I would have saw was the commercials. If I was watching anything, I just changed it, put the volume down. Um, I kept myself occupied watching anime or reading comics or reading something.
It sucks. I remember I just did not for that week I just did not go on the internet.
Anything. Yeah.
Like Instagram did not exist to
You just
me.
canceled your subscription to
I just didn't
Verizon.
I just didn't look at anything.
Yeah.
I like you said, I kept myself busy. I just watched like TV or app stuff, like streaming stuff. I did not look at my phone for a week because I could not run the risk of messing that up for myself
Mm.
because unfortunately there are people out there that want to mess stuff up. And that's not cool.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I couldn't get the IMAX version because that sold out immediately. I got the regular ones, which is gonna suck because I'm gonna see it in regular doo digital version. But
Doo digital
yeah,
surround sound.
yeah, 'cause I'm so bougie. I've gotten so used to the Dolby Vision because Dolby Vision,
Yeah,
it's like the colors are crisp and clear. You get a lot. I would have at least wanted to see it in Dolby, but then
yeah.
I'm gonna go from that to seeing it in IMAX. It's gonna be ridiculous. I think
Mm.
some of the scenes were shot in IMAX too.
I mean, I'm sure, like the big fight scenes,
Yeah, but
but
I have to say something though. Speaking of
what?
fight scenes, so you know about the thing with the Invisible Man hitting the lizard, right? So that is an add-on to my suspicion that these two are coming. But I'll say 1,000% the reason why, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, that's crazy." The reason they're gonna be in this movie, hands down, no questions asked, dude. TNT, TBS, FX are playing the old movies. They're playing Toby and I was sitting there. I'm like, why are they playing the Amazing Spider-Man 2? And then a day later, I saw like, why are they playing Spider-Man 3? It was I'm like going through it. I'm like, they're playing it. Why would they set it up as
They're
a
only playing that to capitalize on
no,
another Spider-Man movie coming
no,
out.
no? They played all Spider-Man movies, including Tom Holland's, to catch people up. So when they see this one, they're like, "Yo, I just saw that on TBS." No, hands down. So the invisible man hitting the lizard clarified it, but seeing that on TV, I was like, "Nah, they in this." Because I saw Papa Toby on and wearing the black suit, I was like, "He's in this. He's wearing
Papa
the black
Toby.
suit too,
I
just
can't
for
can't wait. Imagine all of them in a black suit. I don't know why, but just imagine.
well, we know Tom Holland's in a black
Well,
suit,
he's in a black suit, yeah.
but not the
I'm
Venom.
still thinking that that black suit, I don't know if I said it last time, I think is the Electro-proof suit that he has to make to fight Electro.
Well, wouldn't it be just the Sinister Six suit?
No, so what I'm thinking is Electro's gonna be one of the first guys that comes out because
Okay.
everyone else, he doesn't need a special suit to fight.
Oh, he already
Like,
has a special suit anyway.
yeah, he has, a Stark suit, which is fine for fighting everyone, and then he has the Endgame suit that we saw him wear at
Yeah,
1.2 with the legs,
yeah.
the Iron Spider suit. But and then he also has his regular red and black suit. But the black suit itself, it's equipped with the strange magic or whatever,
Mhm.
and we see him at least in the trailer. It looks like when it's cut together, it looks like it's him fighting Electro. So in the comic books and stuff, he had to make an Electro-proof suit because when he was fighting him, he kept getting electrocuted, right? So he had to make a special suit specifically for Electro.
Okay,
So
I'm with it.
another thing that we haven't seen yet, and it actually, I was pretty pissed that this was a thing couple weeks back, way before the trailer and everything, I was walking through Target, and sometimes I just like to go down the Lego line, right? Just
That's
because,
normal.
just got to see what's
You don't need,
available for me.
you don't need to justify
Um,
it.
so walked through, got to the Marvel section, I saw the No Way Home
Mhm.
Lego sets. The Vulture is in this movie.
Well, I'm not too surprised about it because of the Morbius trailer, the original one, because I don't think he's in the new one. They for some reason they just edited him out. That um, you didn't see Venom 2 yet because you haven't called me. So
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
um, but yeah, it sucks that toys tend to spoil stuff.
And it's just like, I saw that and I was like, oh, come on. And it's just like, okay, so there's still some stuff that we don't know about. I also really feel like in that scene where the rift is happening, I
Yeah.
really feel like we're gonna see some extra Spider-Man come through.
Hmm. You
I've
mean
I've
more
had
than
my
the
fever
two?
dream pitches with these. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really hoping
Spider.
God please answer my prayers. Like,
Just at least Spider Pig. You know, if
I
we get
just want
Nicolas Cage, I'm happy. That
if
would be funny.
if we got any of them, I'd be super happy, right?
Oh,
If we
oh,
got
if we got
you know,
freaking Emma
Nick Cage
Stone.
falling through and becoming Spider-Man Noir, or if we got Emma Stone falling through and she's Spider Gwen, right? Or if we got to see Miles Morales from Into the Spider Verse drop down and go from animated to real life and like him be a live action actor, It would be great if we got to see somehow, if somehow Sony and Disney and Marvel want to be nice to us, we can get Miles Morales, Donald Glover version, and it could happen.
Oh wait, what if it's not Miles Morales, but what if it's Peter Parker,
Or
Donald
if he's
Glover?
if he's just Peter Parker. Like there's so much that they could give us if they love us, you know. Peter Porker, like they can do that in a really stupid way, the same way that they did Howard the Duck at the end of
Oh,
Guardians.
it's
Remember the post
possible.
credit scene?
It's possible. That
They
same
can do
animation,
that.
that same technology, yeah.
Yes,
Do it.
they can do that. It can't. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Like it's not gonna make them drop Rotten Tomato points. Just have him
Yeah.
in the corner.
So
He doesn't
I
have
don't
to
know.
destroy.
I'm
He's just there.
every time I think about it, my blood pressure rises and I start to get really winded, and my mind does
You need to
backflips.
get like wow, I'm forgetting the name of this thing. When you are breathing hard, the
Oh, an asthma pump,
yeah, you need to get one of those.
inhaler.
You know that video I sent you, and I'm sure a lot of people that are listening have seen this, where it shows a guy, this dude in the theater. He's like, when you hear the after the Marvel credits goes through, but then you hear like Toby's music, and then you see him like seizuring. He's just like, ah! He wakes up. He just hasn't seen the movie. He just like died,
It's
pass out before you get
it
through
gives
the
me
ride.
so much anxiety and hype all at once. I feel like I got an injection of pure meth into my brain, and I'm just like,
That
"Ah,"
wasn't
like
actually meth. That was venom. Boom. Easter
okay.
egg.
So it just like there's so much, and what kills me is that I can't know until I see it, and I'm super excited. It's only like 3 weeks away.
These
So
leaks are dangerous.
yeah,
There's so many images that I've seen that I'm just like not even thinking about because I'm just like, "Oh, I'm not thinking about it.
you
They're
can't.
still in my brain bank, but I just can't export those, and I don't want to believe it. And
Speaking of,
also,
oh,
freaking Andrew Garfield is just doing little things on YouTube. Like that's a way of marketing there. Like I saw this thing he did like 10 days ago. I think it was like it's really me. I think it was GQ or something, and he was just like reading stuff, and he was just.
oh, I know what
But
you're talking
like
about.
the later stuff started mentioning Spider Man. He's like, but he was very vague with it because he can't talk too much, and he's just like, all right, I'm done. Like it was like a 10-15 minute video, but I'm like, I think people are gonna ask a lot about Spider Man, and he's just not going to uh, answer it. And
It's just like
Toby's not even on this planet right now. He's
he's
with
not. No, he disappeared.
He's with Silver Surfer, like literally right now. He's off planet. When the movie drops, he'll come back and be like, "I'm here, guys."
Like there's just so much rumors. There's so much stuff. Like there's talks about there might be a Madam Web cameo in it. Like there's so much that we can never know.
There was someone who's I saw a picture of an actress compared to her, and I'm like, she could be Madam Web. I forgot who.
There was someone I it was like an IGN article that had dropped and it was talking about how it might have been the same thing. It was an actress that looked like Webb and they were like confirmed that she's not. And I was like, okay.
I was like, I can see it though.
Yeah.
Great.
So there's just so much that could happen. We're talking about like they can bring back like Daredevil in it and like there's just so
Think about that, but that's an extra thing.
like Charlie Cox could just be there as his lawyer, Matt Murdock. Like there's
We don't
so
need Daredevil. We just need to confirm that he's part of the MCU.
yeah. Like there's
Like,
just so much that can happen. There's so much. And on top of that, you know, beginning of last week, I believe, Tom Holland, he had a bunch of interviews going on and he actually wanted to separate himself from Spider-Man a little bit and he was saying how he doesn't want to just continue to be Spider-Man and
yeah.
he doesn't want to be doing this into his 30s. And he said he actually wants to take a step back and see Miles Morales come in.
Hmm.
And there was that, but then
Then
I
there's
guess
new
because
confirmation.
he said this one thing, it blew up everywhere because it was everywhere. Now we have confirmation from producers and Sony saying that they are working on another MCU Spider-Man trilogy in
That is
conjunction with Sony. right? Starring Tom Holland, and it was confirmed it's another trilogy. So
I'm just
taking
wondering.
place in MCU. So I'm assuming they're gonna be having to juggle the Spideyverse and MCU, but
They're
it's
still sharing.
confirmed that it's happening.
Yeah, they're still sharing that. Sony still got their movie because I remember we were upset back in college. We were like, "Oh, you're gonna do a Sinister Six without the Spider Man. You're gonna do a Silver Sable, whatever you're gonna do. Then you were gonna do an Aunt.
Yeah.
They were gonna do an Aunt May movie
There,
for
I
what?
totally forgot about all of that. They were gonna do a Sinister Six movie without him. They were gonna do a Silver Sable movie, and we were all like, "What is happening?"
But oh, it was Silver Sable and Black Cat, so they were gonna share a movie.
Yeah.
So because they couldn't stand on their own, they had to put two of their C-list characters that not a lot of people know about together. Anyway, that's just me ranting. But we were gonna get that. Sony played ball, they listened. But my thing is there a signed contract? Because then like he doesn't have to say unless if he did sign it, then yes, he signed on to
I
do
mean,
something more.
if they're out there saying this,
Then
you
I'm
know what I
assuming
mean?
yes.
I have a feeling that it's a thing
But then I would
because
like that to bleed into Miles Morales
yes,
to keep it
um,
in the same MCU continuity because they're never gonna recast Tony Stark for Robert. Like this is a world that is living and breathing. So if you reboot it, it just screws everything up. Just keep
yeah,
it.
it should just keep evolving and going on and
Yeah,
telling more stories.
yeah,
You know, and as we go, just like in the comic books, right? As we go, other characters will fade away. It's
exactly.
just I think that's the best way to do this.
I think it would be the most realistic thing when it comes to comics, like we talked about on a few episodes ago. Um, the Marvel book, which I have here, it's a nice big book. The guy who read all the
Oh,
Marvel.
you got it? You bought
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I got it. It's like under some books right now because there's stacks of books that I need to read.
So
Um,
the book Jay's talking about really quick, it was written by a guy that read every single Marvel comic book since the 60s. And what is it called?
all the Marvels.
All the Marvels.
Yeah, it's it's really dope. But yeah, the one thing he mentions in the book is that the continuity of things. Like in 10 years, you go from like landline phones to cell phones. It's like a weird not 10 years. That's because that happened in real life. But there's just a weird inconsistency when it comes to technology and certain
Mhm.
things. Like specifically, I always use Captain America as an example. Like his war was with the Nazis. Now it's still with the Nazis, but think about we talked about this like in 50 years, is it still with the Nazis or is it going to be from Afghanistan? Are they going to
True.
change it up? So there's this weird inconsistencies with characters and timelines and due to
So
boots.
speaking of,
But
my
anyway,
wife Erica is finally back on track with the MCU movies.
I was gonna ask about that
We
earlier.
have watched Captain America,
What'd she think
and
about
she liked it.
it? She liked
And the Avengers yet again broke my heart by saying she watched the first Avengers, and I was excited because she was getting into it.
it. Mhm,
There's parts where she was like, "Oh, that's so cool! Like they're finally meeting up," and "Oh no, that's gonna happen!" Like there was that like childish wonder with
mhm.
some scenes, and she was just like, "Oh, that's real cool," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then she said the worst possible thing.
Glasses off.
She still said that Thor 1 is her favorite.
Look, I like Thor one. I will always back Thor one.
You shut your mouth. You didn't like Thor 1.
No, I liked it more than two. Let
Well,
me finish.
duh, everyone does, but now I'm
Yeah,
scared because I think she might like 2 most.
I can understand that. Okay, let me backtrack. I'm scared for you for her. No, no. I'm in the. I feel you because to like that out of all of Phase One, like this is including Avengers where they all met. Like Thor is in Avengers. Like how can you?
It hurts my soul, but she's trying to watch everything, and she blew my mind. She's trying to watch everything. I don't think we're gonna do it, but she wants to try and watch everything
Give her some like ultimatum.
until she wants to watch everything and catch up to Spider-Man.
That's not gonna happen. Good.
So I looked at it, and we have 17 movies to go.
Yeah, it can happen. It's possible. I just think with her, it's just not gonna happen.
It's that, but I'm letting it be. It's who knows? Maybe one day on the weekend we just bang out like 8 movies in a row.
8 is a lot. Like, I don't think 8 is bad. For her, it is.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? I must say I gotta give her a lot of credit. This past weekend, right? We had a Thanksgiving break and she was off from school. But we watched a movie like every single day.
Mm.
So we watched Cap one day, Avengers the next, then we went to my parents and we saw I don't even remember, but we saw a movie with them, and then we went to the movie theater and saw Encanto the next day on
So this is
Saturday.
just going. This is just watching movies.
This was
Not
just
even
like and then yesterday we were supposed to watch um Winter Soldier. I mean Iron Man 3.
free. Yeah.
We were supposed to watch Iron Man 3. She ended up having to take some phone calls and stuff and it went late. But we were literally I had it on the TV and then she had to do some work stuff with phone calls and we weren't able to watch it. But like she was
All right.
you know what I'm saying? Like she could get close. And I told her like for Spider-Man, like literally to watch Spider-Man, the only thing that sucks is like we could watch just the Tom Holland stuff. We could watch 1 and 2, but with that, we have to know with 2 ruins a lot of stuff if you haven't seen
Yeah.
all the Avengers stuff.
She hasn't seen if she and she's not aware that like this dude is dead because she
So
can
we
watch 1 and then 2 is like Tony's dead. Like what happened? You
so
can't
with
watch that without
2, it ruins a lot of like what's already happened and the whole plot point of them coming back after the snap, like she has no idea what that is.
be like, what is that? Why? Wait, they were gone.
Exactly. And then for the new one, right? Watching the Toby stuff and then the Andrew Garfield stuff and then the Tom Holland stuff.
But
Like
she's never seen those.
she's never seen any of them. So there's a lot of stuff that she would have to watch.
Yeah,
So
because
just in
like
MCU, she has 17 movies to
yeah,
watch.
because with the Sony Spider Man, like Gabby's seen some of them. Like
Yeah.
she knows who Toby is. She knows Andrew Garfield did his Spider Man. Like she's aware they're two different
Like
Spider.
for it to make sense with all the villains and stuff, she would have to watch all of them
That is true.
because there's a villain from each one.
And she wouldn't be like she wouldn't understand like why are you flipping out on your chair because Doc Ock is on screen. Who is this man? And we like he was
Or
there.
like Lizard or Sandman. Like
Yeah,
all of them come from a different movie. Or Electro. Electro's in Spider. What is it? So Electro's in Amazing Spider-Man
Spider-Man
2.
2.
Lizard is in Amazing Spider-Man. Sandman is in Spider-Man 3. Um.
Ock is 2, and
Oh yeah, Doc Ock is Spider-Man 2, and then Green Goblin is Spider-Man 1. And then
well,
if the
well,
Vulture is in it, that's from the first
the first Spider-Man.
Tom Holland Spider-Man, and it's from Homecoming. And if we're listening to some other rumors that's saying that Mysterio's gonna come back. He's from the last one.
Yeah, they're literally going from all.
They're picking something from everything. And if we want to get even crazier and they start bringing in other Spider-Man and stuff from Into the Spider-Verse, then there's that too.
Well, you're gonna have her watch that, bro. First, you need to get her through close enough to like. You need to get her remotely. Like, you need to get her into Infinity War because then if at least she understands that, she'll be like, okay, people are gone. Yes, if she sees part 2,
Like
when
I
does
was really
she?
trying to figure it out, like because she was like, "What do I need to watch?" She's like, "What are the essential ones that I need to watch?" And I
Like,
was trying to pare it down. Not even talking about the other Spider-Man. Not even talking about like Toby and Andrew
no, I mean to
Garfield.
get to the Spider.
Just MCU stuff. And I was like, "You need to watch it all." I was like, "There's very little fat that we can trim here." I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe we could skip, but she likes Thor, which sucks, so we have to watch it. Um, maybe we can skip both the Ant Mans. Um,
You can explain. So look, if you skip Ant Man, you'll because that takes place after Avengers 2. All that is setting up is for him to show up in Civil War. So you
yeah,
can explain
exactly.
that. And
So
then
we can
yeah,
like
Ant
I
Man.
like Ant Man,
Oh no, it's great. It's
and I
cool.
think she would too. But to move it
Does she
along,
like
like
Paul Rudd? If she likes Paul Rudd, you can sell it to
she
her.
does like Paul Rudd.
So she because Gabby likes Paul Rudd too, and she sat and watched that. She's seen it at least 3 times, like in different times.
So that's the thing, right? So
So
like
she
I
likes
think that
Paul
she
Rudd.
would. think she would
But
like these
if you
things.
tell her we can skip this and explain it to her, give her that. But if she wants to see Paul Rudd, she wants to see Paul Rudd. It's fine.
It's just there's not any that I think we can actually skip besides Ant-Man 1 and 2. I mean, I would love to skip Thor 2 as well, but she can't, you know? So, I think that and then maybe the second Guardians?
Well, I was thinking the first Guardians because
No, you can't.
you can't because it explains the characters. You gotta because no, I say you can't. I am agreeing with
Okay,
you
okay.
because this is the first time you've seen the characters. The second one because I think she just needs to see the end because that ties into Thor 3. Just literally the end. Where in the no wait, is it the end
No.
that ties into Thor 3? Oh no, yes it does. Because they get a distress call,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah.
you can explain that. If
Yeah,
she
that's
doesn't see
not
so
yeah,
you're
I don't
right.
think that
She doesn't have to see Guardians 2. Because
okay.
Guardians 2 is its own contained story. It
So
just brings the
we
characters
can
together.
shave 3 off of that.
So Guardians
4
2,
if she's willing to shave off, Dark World,
but she likes Thor, so
but
that's
she likes Thor, so I doubt
does
it.
she like Thor or the movie Thor?
No, she liked the movie.
Because he was shirtless.
No, I mean, she likes him, but she liked the movie.
Because
She
Harry
really
Potter.
liked, like, the banter and the comedy in it. She really liked the story with him and Jane Foster, like and one of her favorite characters was, Kat Dennings,
Oh yeah, you did say that. You did say that.
yeah, I forgot her name in the movie, but yeah, she, like, really liked it. Oh, and now out of nowhere, like, since watching Avengers, she kinda has, like, this weird crush on Loki. She was like,
All the ladies did when
"I don't
after Avengers,
understand
like
it."
he was cool in Thor 1, but
Yeah.
Avengers is what like everyone's like, oh my god, Loki.
Yeah, she did the same thing. She was like, I don't really know why, but,
No.
he kinda has this, like, swagger when he walks, and he's bad." And I was like, "What?"
I'm rolling my eyes right now.
I was like, "How you have Chris Hemsworth next to Chris Evans, and you're gonna hit me
Chris,
with Loki?" And on top of that, you know what? She also really likes Mark Ruffalo.
Gabby likes Mark Ruffalo, but that was before Avengers. Like this is like
Yeah, it
in
was before
another
she
movie.
loves Mark
She's
Ruffalo from
always liked
13
Mark.
going on 30,
That's probably where she liked Gabby.
and I was just like, "What?" But anyway,
But Edward Norton's cool. Anyway.
regardless,
But
we
anyway,
have a
before
way
we
to
go down
go.
this rabbit hole,
We have a way to go, but hopefully we get
you can shave off.
close-ish.
Yes.
So,
Ooh, but no, that's too much. I was gonna say, do not add Loki to the show,
no,
the show
no, no, no,
Loki,
we
because
can't.
but you kind of need to watch it
But, like, later, if she doesn't that's not necessary for now.
after Spider-Man, after this
We'll
Spider-Man.
revisit because she wants to watch WandaVision, so I think watching
Oh
that,
yeah, yeah,
it'll be a nice segue to going towards Loki.
yeah. And then she'll be like,
And
"Oh, this is why the Spider
yeah,
Verse happened because of Loki."
yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
but let's let's wait
let's,
for that one.
let's tone it down.
But moving into our last topic, let's kind of cap this off here with what we've been. For me, it's what I've been watching, but for you, it could always be for what you've been reading or watching.
Yes.
So, what have you been reading and or watching, good sir?
Hmm. Reading or watching. Hmm. Still on the wire. Still watching the
Okay.
wire. I
How
finished.
far did you get into it?
I finally finished season 2. We saw episode 1 yesterday. Yesterday. It's good so far. I've heard. I think I said this last time. Season 2 is a little slow, supposed from what people tell me, and it is. It does like literally pick up on the last 2 episodes, but
Mm,
someone told me that season 2 connects to another. Like there's something in season 2 that connects later on, and it makes sense.
okay.
So, well, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's that. I'm still on that. I'm still on that.
Okay, cool. I've actually jumped into so I'm almost done with King of Queens. I'm on the last season, last couple
Nice.
episodes, but
Nice.
I took a break and I started rewatching Community.
Oh shit! No, we did that.
Great, great show. I'm almost done with that. I'm at the end of season 5.
Yeah, like we were there too. And I told you because I watched it live, and I
Mhm.
told Gabby I was like, I kind of fell off when Donald Glover left.
I literally just watched that. That's where I ended.
Yeah, like when he leaves, you watch up a little bit of it, but it's just I believe because he was also a writer as well. So I think some of that humor he just took it with him, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
But you'll
It's
see.
you can you can tell once he's gone, it kind of, not that it takes like a nosedive, but
Yeah,
the quality lessens a lot,
yeah,
and you can see it. I mean, it's fine, and I like watching it all the way through just to finish it.
yeah.
And I still have a lot of hope. I mean, every couple months we get rumors that the movie is like a thing, and they're just waiting for the actors to become available, and a lot
Remember
of it is
there was
Donald Glover.
there was that one episode where it was like 6 seasons in a movie, and I remember. So I was like, there is 6 seasons, and I remember
Yeah,
when
there's
Yahoo picked it up, when Yahoo TV was gonna be a thing. Yahoo picked it up. That was cool. But
well,
yeah,
what you call it? So it was picked up by Yahoo and then Hulu.
yeah, and then
So the last
um,
season was picked up by Hulu. So, we had, I think, Dan Harmon and Universal, so I think it was NBC, right? Had it for 3 seasons. Then it got canceled, and then I don't remember where. I don't know if it went back on NBC or whatever, but
no,
it
it's
got canceled,
been
and
on
then they were
NBC.
able to continue season 4.
Yeah,
Then after season 4, I believe that's when Dan Harmon had the falling out, and they continued the show without him,
mm,
and that's when season 5 like kind of sucked. And we saw that they kind of went back on a lot of things that they had building up, and that's when Chevy Chase left. That's when Donald Glover left, and they finish out that season. And then the final season, season 6, Dan Harmon, I believe, came back and finished it out
mm,
and did the full sixth season. And then they always end. They ended, what was it, season 3, and then I think at the end of season 4, and then again at the end of season 6. Each one they had like their campaign is 6 seasons in a movie.
mm.
So it's a thing. I really hope that they get it and they're able to work it out, because I would love to see them one last time.
It's a nice way
And
to
I
call it.
like I know Chevy Chase, like his character Pierce, is dead in the show, but it'd be really really great to see them all
They
come
could
back for
revive
one.
him again, like they did Starburns.
Yeah, like they can write it to something where like he faked his. Well, no, because they go to his funeral. I don't know if they could fake his death or have him come back as like a hologram or something dumb, you know. But they can make it work. I
They
believe
could.
in them.
I think like because he's faked his death so many times, so that they could just literally write him back in. Because I know there were issues also behind the scenes too with him.
Yeah,
Because
well,
he was
that's why
like,
he left.
yeah, there was
He
a
had
lot where
issues.
it was like he was just like Pierce in real life. There
Yeah,
was a lot of issues with that, but we'll see. We'll see.
but yeah, so that's I think that's it. That's what I've been watching.
It kind of reminds me of Futurama, like when Futurama kept getting canceled, made it more. I was like, just write it out until it
See,
just.
but then they were able to finish it out, and it was a great ending.
I gotta go through that again.
That's still one of my
It's
favorite
lost off
TV
my.
endings. That I would put, what? That and Seinfeld, I think, are two of my favorite TV endings of all time.
TV endings. Okay,
Yeah,
I can agree
because
with that.
they wrap it up like the end of Seinfeld is they're all in jail because they were terrible people, and it just makes the most sense. And then the ending of Futurama, I remember watching it and I was just like, oh, it's so heart wrenching, but it goes with the story so well. How they have to go through that wormhole to get back to the timeline, and then with that means they have to redo everything, so it dumps them in the beginning, so it's a
It's
continuous
literally
circle
loop, and I
always.
loved that. That was the
It
one
was
thing that,
so good.
like, I remember, and it was like it could be a different interface because I know, like, if you watch Netflix, wherever it is now, I remember it
Things
was
on
on
Hulu now.
Netflix. It's on Hulu now
Yeah, they took it off Netflix.
because I wonder if the interface would be the same. Because I remember at the time with Netflix interface, when it did end, it went back to one, and I was like, wow,
I'm
way
sure
to,
it does.
way to suck me back in. But
It's so
now that I none of the I don't have a lot of memories of it now, so I can just go back and watch it again. Because I like to just like,
well. Also, I caught all the way up to The Simpsons.
oh wow,
Yeah, I
yeah,
finished.
I
I had a
remember
couple seasons left to go, and I finally finished it off.
does that include
Um,
movies too? But there was
well,
only
there's only one movie
one. There was
for The
one.
Simpsons. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one. Yes, only one.
Um, Yeah, and I mean, Futurama was great. I've seen that one a bunch of times all the way through. But now I think it's time for my return to One Piece. I've taken a long enough break.
I was actually watching. I was trying to catch up to the 1,000th episode. I was like, oh, I got to catch up before Justin gets back on.
It's I think
But
it's time.
but if you get back on, I'll stop.
I'll just crush 75 episodes in a week like I did the other time.
There's so many details that you can miss too. Like I remember watching something. I was like, oh wow, I wonder if he caught that. But yeah.
But, all right. Well, with that, I think we've capped this episode. So signing off, this is Jay Justin Ruiz,
And this is Jay, Jeremy Francois.
and we'll catch you on the next one.
Hashtag stay flavor, stay positive.
Yep. 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 Bye everyone.